The World Test Championship Final is here and is the third edition of the one-off final that the ICC started off in the year 2019. 2021 was the first year that the final was taken place. This is the third time, and the finals this time is between Australia versus South Africa. I think Australia South Africa has always been such a good rivalry, especially in Test cricket, because both these teams have fought off so well against each other. There's been so many enterprising Test matches. And one aspect that I like about the rivalry between both these teams is how good they are away from their home. From 2006, I think, till 2014, both these teams won. Going to the other country. Australia clean swept South Africa in 2006, and in 2008, South Africa won again in Australia. Australia at the time was in transition, but still, you got to be pretty good team to beat Australia at the home ground. And then in 2012 as well, when they again came back, South Africa was number one in the Test format as well. So they bet them again. Michael Clarke was just starting to captain Australia, and Ricky Ponting was in the toilet of his career. But still, as I said, South Africa was a set unit at that time. They were performing well overseas. And then in 2014, Michael Clarke, being with the set team, won in South Africa 2-1. It's the last two series, 2018 and 2022, that both teams have won at their home. South Africa won in 2018. Who will forget that series? It was that series with, the ball tampering scandal with Steve Smith and David Warner being banned. And after that, Australia never came back. The Johannesburg Test, South Africa won it so convincingly. And they won it 3-1. And in 2022, Australia won it at their home ground. So the last two series is the only series where both teams have won at their home. And that's just one aspect that I felt I should talk about. I personally like about the rivalry between both these teams. It's a pretty good rivalry with some real good games, and I think it's fitting that both these teams finally contest in a World Test Championship final since its inception. And both these teams have fairly had different lead-ups. South Africa have been criticized or scrutinized for having a very easier approach than Australia, but South Africa are coming off 7 consecutive Test wins. So that's something that they look forward to take on. They had a pretty good home summer, beating Sri Lanka and Pakistan to qualify. But I don't think they're going to be focusing too much on the criticism. Not their fault, but still, to win 7 games on the trot is something not easier as well. Australia played some good cricket. They beat India 3-1 to claim their spots in the finals, and they won in Sri Lanka 2-0 as well. So that's a pretty good indication of how good they are, not just in Australian conditions but away from home as well. They tied with England as well in the Ashes series in 2023. They could have won that series, but they drew 2-2. They retained the Ashes, but overall the unit looks pretty good. I'll be talking specifically about this game. As I said, I started off with both teams, their lead up to the World Test Championship final. Yes, it's a bit different, but still here we are. And come the finals, tomorrow, I think nothing will be separating both the teams. It's how they're going to be playing in the next 5 days as such that will depend who will lift that Test Mace. I'll start with Australia and then talk about South Africa's team. Both teams have announced their 11s just before the day of the finals, just a couple of hours before the finals. Starting with Australia, I think there were some talking points leading up to the final especially about the opening, like who would open with Khwaja. Khwaja was already set, but they wanted Green back, and there was speculation who would be opening. And it is confirmed that Marnus Labuschagne is opening along with Khwaja. There were indications of it. One such was that Labuschagne was batting with the new ball in the net sessions that Australia had. So there was a clear indication that they are planning for Labuschagne to open, and he was also practicing along with it. So Khwaja and Labuschagne are the openers, and at number 3, Cameron Green, who comes back after recovering from an injury. He won't be able to bowl though, but they want Green the batter. They want him. They trust his impact and the skill that he has solely as a batter to get him back into the team. At number 4, Steve Smith, who's possibly the best batter going around in Test cricket. He's looked in good form against India and Sri Lanka as well. Scored tons, in both the series. So he'll want to add another ton. He has a good record in Lords. In 2015, he scored hundreds. So he'd want to continue that form. And at number 5, Travis Head. We all know how good he's been in the last couple of years, especially in knockout games. or in final games. And I think Smith and Head are going to be very much crucial at that number 4, number 5 slot, because they can control the game, with their partnerships going along. Because Australia's top order, I feel, is still quite vulnerable. As I said, Khwaja, we've seen against good attacks, you can get him out. Labuschagne is going through a rough patch as well. No wonder about his quality. You want experience any day, but he's going through a rough patch as well. And Green is coming off an injury as well after a long time. So South Africa would like to look at that aspect and take wickets up front, and that's why I said Smith and Head, and I think going to be very crucial for that sole reason. And then at number 6, Bo Webster, the all-rounder who debuted in that Sydney Test against India, and I think he'll bowl those overs that you probably expected Green to have, because he can bowl both pace and spin, but I think he'll bowl pace, fast bowling, and I think that's pretty good. And then Carey, the wicket keeper, I think pretty much good with the gloves, and is good. He's a very positive batsman. He's that one sort of batter who you want when a situation like a collapse arises, because I've seen in a lot of situations that he remains calm, and he's a pretty good batter to have. Really love both Carey, the gloves man, but he is a pretty good positive batter as well. So that's pretty good. The batting looks pretty settled, but the bowling is something that everyone talks about, and it is so good. Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, these are the 3 fast bowlers, and Nathan Lyon is a sole spinner that they're going ahead. There were talks that Scott Boland might get a chance as well, but I think they're banking on Hazelwood. Yes, Hazelwood was coming back off an injury, but I think he's in good bowling form currently. Yes, it's coming from a T20 tournament, but still I think, as he spoke in the IPL as well, that he's looked pretty good. He's looked as best as he's bowled since he started to play international cricket, and he's had some match readiness, so I think it's going to be good. He's in the wicket taking form, and I think that's what matters. And Cummins, Stark, and Lyon are pretty set as well. So the team is settled. As I said, opening was the only concern that they had to set on, and I think they've set on, and the team looks pretty good. It's balanced with a couple of they have one all-rounder as well to get those overs back. I still think Smith had and those middle overs are going to be crucial. The top order still might look a bit vulnerable, but let's see how it goes. Now moving on to South Africa, their team is very much on the expected lines, as well as they last played in their home series against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. I think Rickelton and Markram are the openers. Rickelton's coming off a good home summer. He scored around 250 in his last test that he played against Pakistan. Vian Mulder, who's going to batting at number 3, he was given the chance at number 3. He scored some good runs, so he'll continue batting at number 3, who is the all-rounder as well for them. Then number 4, they have Temba Bavuma, and number 5, they have Tristan Stubbs. I think both these batters can control pretty well. I think Bavuma, he hasn't got a huge hundreds, but I think he's batted pretty well in whatever test has South Africa last played. And Stubbs, we all know his quality. He scored 100 in Bangladesh last year, which I was personally impressed with. So his game is good against both pace and spin. He might be crucial in those phases in the second session, wherever he comes out to bat. Then they have David Bedingham as well. He's not had that great form in those home series, but I think he's a very attacking player who can start off and score runs at a brisk rate. So he started off his career pretty well. So Bedingham at 6, then Kyle Verreynne at number 7. Verreynne as well scored some good runs in the home series, especially against Sri Lanka, and he's got a ton against Bangladesh as well. So the batting looks pretty good. If you compare it with Australia, it might look a bit light in terms of quality and such, but I think the middle order is going to be crucial. Markram, we all know his quality. Rickelton's coming off good form as well. As I said, he's been playing in the IPL as well and got a 250 against Pakistan as well. So not too bad, but I think Verreynne and Bedingham, it's quite a good mix at the lower order as well. Then you have Janssen at number 8 as well, who is pretty much handy with the bat as well. Then the bowlers, they have Kagiso Rabada, Keshav Maharaj, and Lungi Ngidi. So these are going to be the bowlers on expected lines. But I think one bowling that I was looking forward to is Dane Patterson. I thought was going to be in the 11, but they've preferred Lungi Ngidi, probably because of his height. But there were reports that Patterson might play because he has a bit of experience playing county. He played for Middlesex in the first half of the county championship as well. He has had experience before that as well. So that was something that I was expecting. And another bowler, Corbin Bosch, not a bowler, but he's an all-rounder. But I was expecting Bosch to be in consideration as well, because he bowls in the high 140s and is pretty good lower down the order with the bat. So that wouldn't have been a bad, selection as well. But I think they're preferring Ngidi. Because naturally, I think the height factor could be one thing, but it's not a bad option to have. Ngidi played a bit of IPL as well. But let's see how things go. As I said, Patterson and Corbin Bosch could have been that one option that they could have looked at. But it's pretty good. The bowling is not bad. But I think a lot will hinge on Rabada and Jansen, because Rabada, as we all know, he's had good record in Test match cricket, and against Australia specifically, he gets to his best against good teams. And I've seen him play against Australia. He just brings out his best. And Jansen's coming off a good bowling form. Not just in the IPL, but I think he bowled pretty well in their home series as well. And it was both Jansen and Rabada who got them to that final, against that Pakistan Test match that they won by 2 wickets. So, as I said, Lungi and Giddy could be crucial as well with that new ball, especially against Labuschagne, because that height factor might, you never know, might be something that, end up in South Africa's favor, but we'll see how it turns out. I think they have a good spinner in Maharaj as well. He can control pretty well. He has a knack of picking up wickets, and the wicket is supposed to be on the drier side, because there's been not much rain in England leading up to the game. The wicket is also said to be more drier. So we'll see. We can see both Maharaj and Lyon, who are such good spinners for both the teams. They might come into whenever, especially after the afternoon session, the first session, you expect the pacers to bowl, but they might be introduced if the sun is out for a couple of overs. So we'll see how things go. But as I said, for South Africa, in my opinion, the batting is still good. Not in terms of, if you see the quality compared to Australia, not as good as Australia, but still anything can happen. I think the middle order is crucial, and bowling wise, I think if Jansen and Rabada step up, and I think South Africa have a real chance. It was at this stadium that South Africa actually got a Test Mace, in 2012 when Graham Smith was a captain. So it would be, poetic, pretty good to get that Test Mace again at that same stadium. And I think Lord's has such history, the Test Championship final. The first ever was going to be in Lord's, but because of COVID reasons, it was moved out to Southampton, and I think finally is going to be played at Lord's. And whichever team wins, it will be a very historic occasion to win a Test trophy, Test ICC trophy at Lord's. I think nothing gets better than that, and that's why I said whichever team wins, it will be pretty historic for them. South Africa, if they win, this will be their first ever ICC trophy after 1998. That was a knockout trophy, but I think they've had some real tough heartbreaks, especially last year. If you see the T20 World Cup as well, they went till the finals, lost out by 6-7 runs. So they'd see this as another chance to get another trophy, and we're pretty good. Australia, they'd want to complete the domination in world cricket. They currently hold the ODI World Cup as well, and this could be their 4th ICC trophy in the last 4 years. Such dominance. But yeah, one team looking out to continue the dominance, and one team looking out to get their first start. Could be a start as well. So as I said, the teams look pretty good. One thing again I want to watch is the bowling from both teams. Both attacks look pretty good. Overall team wise as well, bowling is something that I so want to watch from both teams. Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, and then you have Rabada, Jansen at the other end with Lungi and Giddy. So if there's something in the wicket, all these bowlers are going to be licking up the towards the ball, and want to bowl a lot. So as I said, this rivalry is known so much for its bowling, so much for both teams going up against each other in their opposition's home ground. And it's fitting that both teams now come up against in a final in a neutral venue. I think it's going to be a fantastic test match. I do hope so, that it's a fantastic test match, because if it turns out that the match goes even till the day 5, and whichever team wins, I think it will be pretty good. As I said, whichever team wins, it will be historic, because they'll be winning at Lord's, the home of cricket as well. So let's find out who it is the third time that will be the World Test Championship final. Australia, will they defend it, or South Africa, will they get the first ever World Test Championship after announcing it? Do let me know, guys, what are your thoughts, and drop your Drop in your thoughts in the comment section. Any player battles or any player you think you want to watch out or will have a larger hold in the game. As I said, it looks like a pretty good test match to watch out for. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.